All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and this is your weekly vendor armor refresh PSA. Okay, if you don't know, every single week all of the vendor armor refreshes, and some of the armor that these vendors bring is actually S tier, amazing armor, great stuff to grab. Make sure you grab on your Titan, your Hunter, and your Warlock. This week we're starting on the Hunter because some of the best armor this week is for the Hunter, including this helmet here from Drifter, which is actually a 60 stat roll that you can just go and grab. That's kind of crazy, okay? Because 60 stat rolled armor is like the highest echelon of armor. That's like some stuff you'd get from end game activities, and yet here it is sitting at a vendor. Most of this vendor armor is around the mid 50s, and some of it being in the lower 50s. So to have a 60 stat armor piece just sitting here for anyone to grab is actually really crazy. It has 21 mobility, 6 resilience, 15 discipline, and 14 intellect. So a decent spread. Obviously, it's a lot lower on the recovery side. So if you are going to rock this helmet, you're definitely going to need to have some high recovery armor in the other stats, or put on a bunch of recovery mods if you're wanting to use this in PvP or PvE. But high mobility is actually really good for a Hunter, so this is actually a decent and respectable roll. And of course, it has 60 stats on it, so it's really solid overall. Now let's move on to the next vendor for our Hunter. Now we're at Zavala, and Zavala also has another helmet that actually has pretty high recovery. It has 16 recovery, 18 discipline, and 13 mobility with an overall stat distribution of 59, so one less than that Drifter helmet, but still a really solid helmet. And if you're looking for that higher recovery build, this one is definitely worth it. I mean, losing out on one stat isn't nearly as important as having the right stats in the right places, like I've mentioned many times before, and a 59 stat roll is still extremely high. He also has a pair of boots here that are really nice. These are 56 stats overall, but have 26 strength, so this is going to be really good for your melee and getting your melee charge back really fast on your Hunter. And it does have 12 recovery, 8 resilience, and a little bit of mobility, so these are a very nice pair of boots overall for your Hunter. That's a wrap for everything on your Hunter, though. Now let's swap over to the Titan. All right, now we are on our Titan, and if you go visit Shaxx has a decent pair of boots for your Titan. This roll has 18 recovery, 14 intellect, 6 discipline, 6 strength, and it does even have a little bit of resilience. And the best part is that it only has 2 mobility, like I've mentioned many times before. You want to keep your mobility as low as possible so you can Titan skate as fast as possible. And this is a 54 stat distribution overall, so nothing too impressive in terms of overall stats, but all the stats are in the right places for your Titan, especially for a really strong PvP build. So definitely a worthy pair of boots to go grab here. Now let's move on to the next vendor for our Titan. The next and last armor piece I'm going to mention for your Titan. Now this is definitely not S tier armor, but I figured I would throw it in here because it does have a decent stat split with 15 recovery, 12 intellect, 12 strength, and a little bit of resilience. But the only problem is it does have mobility, so a little bit of wasted stat, and it is only a 54 stat roll overall, so not particularly the most impressive, but still a decent helmet if you're looking to build a really solid build for your Titan, especially if you're trying to do the Grandmasters this week and you're trying to get a really nice stat build for your middle tree Sentinel Titan using Ursa Furiosas. This helmet would definitely pair well with that. So a great helmet for PvE and a decent respectable helmet for PvP. But now let's move on to the third and final character, the Warlock, for this week. And we're now on the Warlock, and if you go to Zavala on your Warlock, you will see that he has amazing chest piece, okay? 56 stats overall, 18 recovery, which is especially what you want on a Warlock, okay? That gets you your class ability back really fast. And then he's got 8 resilience, you got 10 discipline, and 16 strength. This is a great chest piece. Make sure to grab this. Even I'm going to grab this one for my Warlock. This is definitely a great one to have. Now let's go to the next vendor. And the last vendor we're going to visit on our third character is the Drifter. And this helmet, admittedly, like it is for the Titan, is not S tier, but it's definitely decent and maybe noteworthy. It's got 18 recovery, it's got 11 discipline, and 12 intellect, so it's got like some good stats in some good places. But overall, it's a 51 stat roll, so definitely on the low end, but might be worth grabbing for your Warlock. And with that, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you want to stay up to date on all the news and everything going on inside Destiny 2. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Later.
Subscribe to Lucky 10p and smash that motherfucking like button. And check out my second channel too.